he's the best guy I've ever met. He's very sweet. He does, everything that he can to make me happy. He's probably one of the most generous people you'll meet. He always tries to do things for other people, and he goes out of his way and doesn't see it as like a big deal. Like that's just what you do for other people.
I think she's a wonderful woman. She's strong. She's incredibly caring. We both were on OkCupid.com. I was moving around in Central Ohio looking for people to hang out with, and I guess she was doing the same.
And he sent me some goofy message, and I responded back to him. I saw that he was an actor, and I always had an interest in costume design, so we started talking about that.
And that started our back and forth bantering online for about a month before I finally called her, and then finally, I think, more or less forced her to meet me.
And then he called me, and the first time he called me, I thought, well, that guy seems kind of goofy.
The first meeting was not the best. I invited her over to my place to watch DVD and make tacos for her. She made it about an hour into the movie before she decided that she needed to leave because she thought she might be sick.
He thought I was leaving because of him, but it wasn't because of him. It was just because I didn't feel good.
I really didn't think there'd be a second date, but somehow there managed to be a second one. I don't know if there was a moment or anything. It just was a build-up. It hit me one day that we'd been living together for about a year, and throughout that time, at no point did I ever think that we were two separate people. I thought of us as one couple. And like if we're living as man and wife, and I think of us as husband and wife, then the next natural step is to be man and wife. And if I can't stand to be away from her, and I want to be with her the rest of my life, let's make it official and spend the money on a ring.
Even when I first met him in person, I thought, well, there's something about this guy. Like, there's, and I did have that feeling of, like, I think this is the guy. And it just kind of evolved over time, I was going to go back to grad school, and then he was looking into grad school as well, and the thought of us being separated between that really scared me. So, I kind of just knew then that I always wanted him in my life. I didn't want us to be apart. He proposed to me at school, in grad school. He actually picked one of the worst days he could probably do it.
And I decided I would try to make it as fun for me by making it as uncomfortable for her. So I waited till we were both at school, and I was going to go up to the costume shop where she was working and just kind of spring it on her in front of everybody in that room.
It was me and the two other girls in the costume area, and we had a meeting with our professor to talk about things that we were unhappy with.
She was just in the break room, which made it even better because the space was a lot smaller. And so I went in there, and I was talking to one of her friends who was also in the room, and I explained. I was like,
he said, "Oh, Susan, did Kristin, tell you about all the rings I was sending her pictures of over the weekend?" And she said, "Oh yeah, no, I've heard about that." And he said, "Yeah, and how I'm supposed to just get down on one knee and say,
Kristin, will you marry me?" As I was saying that, I was actually physically doing it and pulled out the ring, and She didn't. I think she couldn't believe it for a minute.
And it was a big surprise, and it took me a minute to realize what was going on. So, of course, I said yes, and that was pretty much it. When I start walking down the aisle, I'm sure I'll be nervous, but I think once I see him, I'll be okay. I'll pretty much want to run down the aisle at that point, I think. I'm excited about us starting life together and actually getting to be together forever and grow old together and all that cheesy stuff that, everybody always wants.
I mean, the most important thing is that I love her, and I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love her. And that in 10 years, I will still be loving her, and we will still be together, despite all of her fears and trepidations, hopefully with children. When that happens, I'm sure she'll be a great mother, despite, again, all her fears and misgivings about the idea. But, yeah, I mean, just that I'm here because I love her.
I think the most important thing is that he knows that he is the man of my dreams, and as cheesy as that sounds, and he'll think it's cheesy too, but it's true. He's the guy that I've been waiting for, the guy that I've dreamt about since I was 10 years old and wanted to always get married, and he's the one that I've been looking for.